Hello, everybody.
Hello.
We are here today. That is
Back in the corridor.
back in the corridor, where all the important things happen in the corridor. That feels like that should be a meta commentary on something.
Still concerned about how big those flames are. 'Cause, it could just be a model set where they've used birthday candles.
Well, you would know, I suppose.
Yes, I like burning things.
Yes, that's what I was getting at with that. Yes. Okay.
Oh, did we ever show you the picture of the birthday cake I made from a partner, the Vlad the Impaler theme
Yes,
one?
you did.
Okay.
It,
Pocky and
it
jelly babies.
yes, it was. It's basically Ron Seal. It's exactly what it says on the tin. It's a Vlad the Impaler cake. Um, With those last haunting words in my mind, the voice finally vanished to the light of the hallway, grew back to its original glow. Took a breath, looking around, taking in the sight of everything as I realised I was alone once more. How much time had passed? God, I hope it's millennia. I could only grimace and shake my head, holding it. This was a major issue, but would I be able to fix this on my own, or would I need help? Damien had problems of his own to deal with. What if I approached Diana about it? Didn't we go through this before?
Yeah. Just
Just,
talk to anyone
just
really.
talk to.
I mean, your other half's basically not doing anything at the moment, so
Yeah. Started my journey back to my room with the thoughts in my head. What the hell was haunting me? Some kind of ghost? A magical entity?
those can be the same thing.
I guess. I mean,
Also, what was
statistically.
haunting me? Is it a ghost? Well, if you're being haunted, then yes, by definition.
I don't want to do this voice. I am really fucking tired because work is fucking draining the life out of me at the moment. So I don't want to do excited happy voices. I just want to sit here and be miserable. Is that too much to ask?
Oh, and today's society, man, there's all positive thinking and stuff. I mean, ignore all the shit going on over there, all the fascism and burning people, and the possible extinction of large life forms. Hey, just ignore that and look at the happy shiny thing.
I want to look at the happy shiny thing, but I find it really
Unfortunately,
hard.
unfortunately, the happy shiny things are all crap and usually quite boring.
Which is why I want to go to Disney World.
Because at
Uh,
least they're expensive, happy shiny things.
yeah, and they're sparkly, and that would be
And
preferable.
some of them are stormtroopers for some reason. No, that they have a stormtrooper parade, which is role played as a recruiting party for the
uh,
First Order. I mean, I assume they don't have one for the Empire for the other films because that'd just be weird if they met each other.
I mean,
Time travel!
I would really like. Sorry, I'm actually just about to take some drugs.
Yay!
Yay, drugs on camera. I didn't realise I had a headache before I actually started recording. That's how my life is sometimes.
Oh, you mean like when I didn't realise I had the mumps? That one, because of the amount of
I
work I
don't
was doing at uni.
think I actually heard you tell. I didn't think I actually knew that you
Yeah,
actually
I
had the
didn't
mumps.
realise I had the mumps because it was only a minor case because I've had all my shots and stuff, but I couldn't close my mouth for 2 days, and I was just
I
kind of,
mean,
there's work
let's
to
let's
do.
let's be honest. You find that difficult anyway.
Oh, only because I've got asthma, so only because I get hay fever a lot, so my nose gets
No, I
a
was
little.
just mentioning you talk a lot.
And I was trying to turn it into a medical condition.
Yeah, that sounds like you.
Yeah, having asthma and hay fever is fun. Just
I
for
just
anyone
have
out there
I
who
just have
realize.
nasty asthma, so I don't have hay fever. Thank fuck, because I'm
You're
miserable.
allergic. You're
I'm
allergic to your own pets. It's your own damn fault. Anything that happens in the house.
to be fair, my pets didn't cause my fucking asthma. That's.
That you know they are cats.
Uh, Come on, guess, just guess. I can't do the enthusiasm. I just can't. This is the bitch and moan episode. Yeah.
Yay!
Which is a lot like all the other episodes, to be fair. Rambling random tangents, and we're only 4 screens in, and we've been recording for a good couple of minutes right now. So, oh, that's a you thing. Good, I can shut up
Is
for a
it?
second.
Oh, this the yes. Anyone whose name we No, possibly.
Yeah, this is the
Good
I've
lie.
got better tats than you.
Yeah.
No.
How am I supposed to know?
I stopped walking at the sound of Faye and Sierra's voice reverberating through the hall, around the corridor, breaking my thoughts. They sounded intoxicated. Hang on, we
Again.
have done this again. Hang on, what?
Yeah, he's in his pants again as well.
Yeah.
Did you Did you load the wrong save?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, they're even talking about how what's his face is like what's thingy.
What's the face's thingy?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know. Okay, the game's crashed. Yay!
Well, yay!
Alright, so after that little mishap, yeah, I forgot we'd killed her. So,
yeah.
And
More importantly, I've just noticed that part of the stuff in the fire, they've messed up the layering. Because the dragony thing on the right-hand side is meant to have the wood on top of it.
Yes, this is correct.
This is far more important than the story. Such as it is.
Anyway, yes. From what we remember, the last time we killed her, and then the end of the story was there, and there was much rejoicing.
Yeah.
But instead, now we have to fight this.
Fight it, you bastards.
Death wasn't going to take him from me. Damien was going to stay here with me, and I would hold on to him until the very end of this. I prayed, I begged, I hoped that my demand would come through. However, I couldn't stop the flames encasing his body. The flames, as I held on to Damien, quickly began to snake up his body and up his hand to me, wrapping me in its tight embrace and burning over my skin. Yeah. No. Soon, I was falling off the back of the chair I was sitting on, slamming onto the floor, feeling my entire body become engulfed by the black flames. Oh. Soon the cool death embrace of death was all I could feel, the darkness all I could see. Was this worth it? What? I did enough.
What?
Nope. Apparently no. End up in flames.
Oh, so anything with the ritual just kills you. Okay. So the decision you make. Wait a minute. So the game is gonna punish you for being supportive of basically someone wanting to transition.
Yes.
Yes. Game makers, have you ever thought of actually taking a step back and looking at things from an outsider's perspective?
Okay, I guess I say fuck you.
You go, no, stop it. Stop trying to live your best life.
Okay, I'm going to go back to that choice then. All right, we're back again. So this time, instead of letting Damien make up his own mind, I need to say, fucking stop it.
Stop trying to live in a way you're comfortable with your own body.
It may have been Diana's form of redemption, but it was potentially risking Damien's life. Who knew if this would work at all, let alone successfully turn him human without killing him? Diana, this is insane. But it's the only option there is. Diana looked to me and stared into my soul, making me almost freeze up in place from the intensity of her stare. I lost my family, despite having the energy to drive the demon lord away from them. I received my due punishment for this mistake, and now I'm going to make it right. It's up to him if he wishes to become human or not. I agree. I looked over at Damien and watched him look back over me, a glimmer of hope in his eyes. I could tell what he wanted, but would he ask me anything? Would I have a say?
Oh. Why wouldn't you have a say? Because it's not your
We've done this.
Choice. Body autonomy, and all that. He loses all his powers.
We've done this bit. Right, let's move forward. Yep.
Selfish.
Mentally flinched at the word hearing it ring in my heart, however, as Damien turned and sat on the edge of the bed, watching it outside before starting to eat. Okay, fucking, let's just go. Oh, actually, she's named her. Oh, Mal. Okay.
Yeah, the training dummy is called Mal.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course it is.
And this is the conversation, and Damien's going to ask me about it, and I'm going to say no.
Please don't. Please don't.
Please don't. It's too risky. Couldn't let him do this because I get punished if I do. I couldn't let him do something that would rip him away from me. Besides, there was nothing wrong with being a demon. Being a demon was way better than being a silly, weak human, I would know.
Wow.
Self-loathing there. I gripped his hands tightly, pulling them to my chest and gritting my teeth. Yes, that's how I'm feeling too. This was wrong to ask him, yes, but I don't want him to change. I don't want to lose you, love you, and want to be with you forever. I don't want this ritual to take you away from me.
Meh.
Damien stared down at me, watching me lay my forehead on his hands, desperately clinging to him. I prayed he would listen and see reason. I was more than happy to sacrifice energy for him. I was fine with him enthralling me and taking energy. I didn't care if he couldn't see the benefits of him being a demon. This was our relationship, and this was my decision as much as it was his. Wrong.
Also, you just basically said that it's not his decision in the slightest. Rather,
Yes.
and then said, well, we should share decision making, and I'm the only one who's allowed a voice.
Yes, effectively. Damien slowly lowered his head and kissed over my hair, making me gasp and look up at him as he lifted his head away. He had a sad smile, but a smile nonetheless as he gave my hands a squeeze.
All right, I won't.
That's the appropriate voice for that response.
Yeah. 3 weeks later, he was found having thrown himself off a bridge.
My heart melted in joy as I released his hands and wrapped my around. Fucking proofreading.
Wrap my around, Damon tightly, round.
I was thrilled that he understood I was going to take care of him for the rest of our lives and vowed to give him everything. I could faintly hear the voice in my head scoff.
Pathetic begging. Well, at least it worked out, eh?
For a moment I had to agree with the voice. It was worth it and it worked out. For a moment. The 2 days that followed were filled with intense training and briefing of work. Diana became more involved with the armies as the boys heightened their training efforts. I did the same on my own, not wanting to fall behind. Soon enough, the boys were working from dawn till dusk, leaving me to head to the room long before Damien could. As I left, I searched for Diana. Time had passed, as time is wont to do. And I knew that now was the moment to get my deserved answers. At least I wasn't being followed, so I began to scour the castle, trying to find where Diana had got off to.
What, the Lord High Major General? They're usually quite easy to find during a war. Look for the place with the most flags. That's a good start. Him.
At the sound of Sierra clearing his throat, I quickly turned around and saw Sierra look to me, as if he was waiting for me to turn around and face him. As I did, he nodded his head and gestured to follow him.
Oh, what an awkward bloody paragraph that was.
I'm just
that description of, he was waiting for me to turn round. Well, yeah, he'd cough to get your attention. It's normal. That's literally what he intended, and you're acting surprised by him doing something remarkably human for an elf demonman.
Elf demonman?
Yeah, Munman.
I did, following him to a new branch of the castle I had not been in before. It just grew overnight. I was stunned to see...
It's a branch.
I was stunned to see its place, but as I walked on, I hate you. The air seemed to grow fresher with each step.
Well, yes, it's tree, leaves and all that, photosynthesis.
Eventually I was led to a door. Sierra slowly opened it, and I could only stare at what I'd been presented.
Butts.
Ah. Okay. A large forest, obviously hidden and bound by magic, stretched as far as my eyes could see past the door, which, to be fair, looks to be about 20 feet.
Yeah.
As I stepped out, I could feel that I was somehow in another void, some sort of protected place in the castle.
Well, have we even had a description of what happens if she looks out the window yet?
No.
Because it might just be in a woodland, for all we bloody know.
I continued to walk in, taking the sights around me. I looked at the trees. Trees were lush and the air was as fresh as the countryside in the human world.
Smell a poo.
Basically. Despite the feeling of magic around me, I could tell that this place was untainted sanctuary.
Taint. Oh, look, there's a taint.
Soon enough, I stopped at the sight of Diana kneeling by a large, beautiful pink and purple tree. She had her head bowed as if she was praying, so I walked very slowly up beside her, wondering what she was doing.
The tree of a face on it or anything. This castle with this wood that's hidden in the castle, and there's people praying at a particular tree.
The song she was muttering was unfamiliar, but the
I like big butts and I cannot lie.
Oh, come on. It's like 90s novelty rap. Most of the people here might not know that.
That's depressing. But
I
also
know.
not at the same time.
But the sight in her hands made me silently gasp in surprise. You can't silently gasp. That's
just opening your mouth.
I silently made noise, is basically what you're saying.
I opened my mouth and exhaled.
A small silver crown, barely large enough to fit a newborn's head, rested in her hands as Diana stared down at it lovingly.
We need to give her a dramatic backstory. Therefore, children died.
Yeah,
that's the only one. If she was a male character, then the wife would also have died. Because yeah.
Yeah. The way she held it on her palm showed its significance, as if it could break at the smallest movement. After a moment, Diana lowered it to the base of the tree alongside two beautiful gold crowns that looked to be freshly polished and welded. As Diana pulled her hands away, she looked at me with a slight frown. This was my punishment. This? Diana nodded and turned her head back to the crowns. Before I went to the human world, I was a simple princess. I studied every topic of knowledge known to the abyssal planes and trained one day to become a strong and powerful queen. This was all thanks to my mother and father. My eyes drifted to the two crowns, realising the significance. Diana continued. Months before I was supposed to be wed to James, my mother and father told me I was going to have a baby sister. Couldn't have been any happier. Every descendant of Lilith is born a single child, but to have a sibling... The small crown caught my attention as Diana let out a shaky sigh but kept speaking. I'm sorry, but if you've given a baby a crown, you aren't paying attention to that baby, really. Because, babies should not be wearing crowns. They've got soft little heads.
Also, it's going to fit for about a week.
Yeah, that too. Small crown caught my attention as Diana let out a shaky sigh but kept speaking. I vowed to protect her and my parents, knowing that the wedding would ensure our kingdom's safety. But when I arrived at the Demon Lord's castle, I was told that the wedding was cancelled and the agreement that kept my kingdom safe was on the verge of dissolving because my husband and his brothers had run off.
I'm just thinking of, maths here, right? Mm-hmm. If every pairing of descendants of Lilith, right, makes one kid, over time, you're not going to have many, are you?
What do you mean? Descendants of Lilith?
Yeah. Because that's meant to be a particular her bloodline, as it were.
Yeah.
Because, nobility and bullshit.
It is that singular bloodline, effectively. Yeah.
Yeah. But they only ever have one kid, ever. Which must... Oh, my God, for a monarchy, that is fucking terrifying.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a reason they have lots of kids. It's so you can have an heir and a spare.
My instinct was to run back home, protect my city and my family at all costs, but another urge struck me at the same time. What do you mean? Diana looked at the tree's leaves, causing me to do the same. On each branch there were a plethora of purple fruits that resembled peaches.
No, there aren't.
Yeah, there are.
That's not purple.
I agree, but regardless.
In fact, it looks more golden, like it's going to be some kind of apple of discord bullshit.
I was stunned to see so many hidden beneath the leaves of the tree, but Diana's answer caused me to look back at her attentively. In the kingdom of heaven, there is a city called Yggdrasil. City? Really?
The city is a tree in heaven.
Yeah.
This Nordic tree is in heaven and is a city. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
It runs like clockwork, and the spirits that live there are the ones who influence everything that happens in the human world. The weather, the environment, everything. They're really micromanagers. I stared at Diana wide-eyed.
First thought is, what happens if we let off a bomb there?
There was a city that was devoted to that? How the hell did that even work? Diana continued, trying to ease my confusion.
I like this just her going, well, if that really existed, then that makes no fucking sense.
There are beings in that city called muses, powerful beings who have a gift given to them by the ruler of heaven called
God,
suggestion. Yes. I was there. You didn't really need to interject that one.
I like the ability suggestion. Here, mate, if you consider trying this.
It gives them the ability to strongly encourage people to do something in their lives, whether be it bad or good. One muse, however, is powerful enough to live outside of the city and decided to make a very, very strong suggestion for me for the sake of her story. Oh, fuck off, you self-insert piece of bullshit for the story.
Really?
Tried to take everything in. I expected an answer, but this seemed ridiculous. Muse's suggestion How was this all possible? Demons were one thing, but having the ability to... Oh, is she the muse? God, I fucking hope not.
You're special because of the way you were born. Thanks. Just...
Yeah. How was this all possible? Demons were one thing, but having the ability to control people with suggestion, that was way too overpowered to even be real.
What? Because mate. Because no one's ever done anything, with suggestion in real life.
This muse it's her. This muse needed a proper villain for her story. Someone who had everything to lose, but no way to try and protect what she had. A stubborn princess who was willing to kill for the sake of her kingdom. Someone willing enough to kill a human. Diana nodded slowly, silently swallowing her grief. While my heart told me to return to my kingdom, my mind became obsessed with finding the boys and bringing them home. Begged the demon lord to let me find them and bring them back, and he agreed to hold off any invasion until I returned. I dissected the castle, looking through every nook and cranny, trying to find any hints to where they had gone. When I found the remnants of the gate spell your grandfather used to bring them to the human world, my mind suddenly latched on to getting through without a second thought. Diana looked at me, away from me, lowering her head in shame. Without thinking it through, I recast the gate spell and used the remainder of that man's life to enter the human world. Didn't realise what I'd done until the gate closed and he took his last breath. Oh, you were there when he died then? I was. The gate spell was connected to him, so when I opened it back up, it sent me straight to him and allowed me to use his life energy. Did you fuck my granddad? Feel like you may have done. I watched Diana as Diana lifted her hands and stared into them, silently shaking. When I realised what I had done, I became racked with grief. I ran as far as I could from his body, changing myself into a human, and simply ran until I couldn't any longer. I had taken away the life of a human, something demons are not allowed to do unless it was to protect the secrets of magic. That's a statement.
Yeah, but don't forget, there's demons and there's devils. So anything bad that happens is obviously the devils that did it. It's obviously not us. We're the good people. They're the bad people.
Guys.
Yeah.
The angels... I feared angels would hunt me down, but as I rested, I suddenly became filled with unjustified purpose and confidence. I repurposed my disguise to match how I really looked and found myself on the hunt for the incubi.
Sounds like a bit of a shitty disguise.
Yeah. All of this was because of a muse? Muse is
How amusing.
I shouldn't have paused for that one. Muses are dangerous beings, dear. While they cannot completely control you, their suggestions are as powerful as your natural instincts. This muse didn't want her villain to wallow in grief, but to become the perfect enemy for her main character. Me? Course you fucking Mickey Mouse wannabe.
The entire world bloody rotates around Pika's face.
Diana nodded once more. A love story that would wreck the five worlds. Romance of a human and a demon prince. When the love of a demon is said to be impossible to gain, could a simple human have the strength to obtain it with her heart? All made sense. Diana killed my grandfather, who granted me his mansion, where I met the incubi. All of the pieces were aligned with Diana being both a victim of circumstance, the inciting incident of my life, and the villain I had to go up against. I stared at my knees, feeling my mind jumble at piecing everything together. My life was written out by someone beyond my control. I started to question everything. Were any of the choices I made in life my own? It's a really fucking weird story.
Yeah. Also, they don't seem to have gone straight for the most important question. Why?
Yeah. Sensing my fear, Diana placed a hand on my shoulder and I felt her calm my anxiety. As I looked up at her, she gave me a sad smile. Before you think your life is a lie, know that a muse only has the ability to focus on one individual when making their suggestion. Every choice you made was was of your own design, even the part where you told me off. I looked deep into Diana's eyes, seeing her sincerity and wisdom of the words she spoke. I felt relieved that I was in control of my own life, but to have a story laid out for me was something I wasn't prepared to completely take in.
I was in complete control of my own life. It just happens that another supernatural entity had set up circumstances around me to force me into one particular course.
Maybe it was better to be ignorant.
Yeah. Well, in that case, she's probably... Yeah, I don't know, actually. It doesn't make any difference, really.
Ultimately,
the point.
No. I shook my head and attempted to change the subject. Doesn't explain what the copycat was. The copycat?
What?
I don't know. What's the copycat?
I don't know what they're talking about.
Diana chuckled and moved to sit on her hip. What?
I don't know how that works.
No. Looking at me with a hand over her lap. Well, I am a very powerful succubus, as you well know. Couldn't just let a muse completely use me. So after I stole your energy that night before I returned home, I forced the suggestion out of my soul, hoping to be rid of it forever. Unfortunately, when I returned, I found my kingdom in flames. My grief resurrected it, and it became a permanent part of me, haunting me and reminding me what I could have been. A ruthless, cruel temptress that could have killed another human to get her way. It forced me to believe that everything was my fault. In a way, it was. I wasn't strong enough to stop the suggestion from taking over. It became this. Oh.
Anything bad she did is just because of
No,
wizards.
now it's concentrating on Pika. So that's why we can't make our own choices in the fucking death thing. It's the thing that's talking to her. The suggestion. Well, you wouldn't like it if your boyfriend had a life of his own, would you?
The world must revolve around you.
It became the source of my madness, controllable at first, but fueled each fight I fought with the Demon Lord. It made sense. If Diana herself had madness, then fighting the Demon Lord made it worse. That's why it became powerful enough to become its own being. What if it consumes her? None of this makes sense!
Yeah, it's just, for one thing, they've decided that the suggestion is a sentient being now.
Yes.
But haven't established how that would work, why that would work, or any. For one thing, we basically just don't have enough world building for there to be internal consistency.
This is just so
because it's just
bad.
Things happen.
Things happen, and now we've got to deal with it, and no one.
Things happen. No one questions it.
I shivered at the idea of the cruel Diana returning, making Diana giggle a bit. Don't worry, dear. That copycat is Oh, is that what they're talking about? Of the copycat is no longer here. Well, it's not really a copycat. It's just you.
Yeah, it's just your twattishness.
Made flesh. I don't think I can ever revert back to who I was, but I promise you that woman who destroyed your grandfather's life is gone. What? Well, what are you going to do now? I get it.
The people making it really like Diana as a character, so they had to come up with a reason why she wouldn't be a bad guy in the sequel. She was possessed by a mind control thing that wasn't really mind control, that became a sentience that latched onto her own negative emotions. So she was under control by her own emotions, but not really.
But not really, because somebody else made her think that her emotions... Oh, fuck this. After another soft chuckle, Diana looked at the magic sky beyond the tree line. I think I'll save this world and help it grow for as long as I can. It's what my family would have wanted. And what about what you want?
Can we eat those peaches and see what happens?
Really tempting. Diana's happiness was important as well. Now that she was free of her guilt and obligation, she could choose her life. Diana looked at her feet and shook her head. What I want doesn't matter. It never has. What is important is this world and its safety. For once, I was able to understand what the copycat meant by her having a golden heart. I felt a little envious and a little pity for her. Hopefully she would be truly happy just helping the demon world without expecting anything in return. I left her by the tree to prepare for the morning. We needed to rest, and Diana wanted to be alone with her family one last time before the siege. Hey. What is it? Keep everything that happened between us. I'm asking sincerely, so immediately I will go and tell someone, no doubt.
Most likely.
With a nod, I smiled and made a silent promise to keep quiet. With that, I returned to my room.
There is nowhere else.
I finally returned to our room and flopped onto the bed, letting the events of my time in the abyssal plane replay in my mind. I was trapped here, and soon enough I was about to go marching into battle against the Demon Lord for my freedom. The more I thought about it, the more surreal the feeling became. I was going to be in a room, meeting a powerful adversary face to face, and set myself free of the curse he brought down upon me. As Damien entered the room at last, I smiled and stood, walking over and wrapping my arms around him as he returned my embrace.
Today's our last night, yeah.
Yeah.
Night, whatever. Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Okay. We held each other, locked in silence and unable to say anything more. We had been in a heavy predicament. We worked through it. It was something we did together. All we could do in the moments was hold each other and listen to our synchronized heartbeats.
Oh, that's creepy.
Mm-hmm.
The heartbeats are perfectly in sync. That's fucking creepy.
Yeah, that's true. The thought of tomorrow danced in my head. I began to live in fear even more. Was I ready to go into battle? No.
No.
Was Damien? No.
No.
Or any of us for that matter? No.
Not
We were
really.
about to walk into the final battle of a world war. Would we survive? Would I live to see Damien afterward? And do you know this feels like one of those teasers at the end of like old B movies? What will happen? Where will they go? Who will they see? Find out next week.
On Batshit Demon Storiana.
Tomorrow brought too many questions to think about, and I became frustrated and scared.
Nope, that's two options.
Those are options.
Could read a book, but you know.
I mean, I don't want to do the sex scene. I'm not being funny, but I just...
You know, literally every single person watching wants you to, right?
I don't want to, because it's not going to be... I cut the last one because it was so boring.
I didn't realise that.
It's so dull. It was just sort of like, yep, that's the thing that happened, and ooh, they don't actually do anything particularly...
Yeah, these people could really do with putting down the shitty romance novels and picking up the shitty erotica novels.
Exactly, which I definitely wouldn't show. But
oh no, God no! But at least that the scene wouldn't be boring.
Okay.
Love scenes should never be boring.
Yeah, I'm gonna make love to Damien. I mean, I'm not going to because ooh, but I am gonna cut here for a second just so I know where to watch to see when it gets boring, because it's going to get boring. All right then, let's
make... you braced.
I've braced. Make love to Damien.
Let's see them reuse that one piece of artwork.
I needed to hold him and treat the night like it was the last night of the world. Tomorrow was unpredictable, as are most tomorrows, but tonight was guaranteed. I wrapped my arms tightly around Damien, burying my hands into his orange hair, as he slowly encircled his arms around my waist. Damien pulled me close, knowing exactly what I wanted to do.
Do the sexing.
Do the sexing. Damien slowly stepped us back towards the bed and fell forward onto it. What?
Wait, I thought they were on it.
Pinning me down to the mattress with his body as he claimed my lips with his own. I combed my fingers through his hair lovingly. Each touch...
It's orange, you know.
It's orange, yes. Like a tangerine.
Like the fluff from a tangerine.
Oh my god. Each
with his
touch...
buttocks like a peach. Also fluffy.
I imagine he would be hairy, to be fair. Stop. I can't. This cannot go in.
That's not what she's going to say.
You know what? I'm going to ignore the story. I'm going to just blot it out completely. These are the jokes that are going in. His hands, not bound anywhere, caressed over the skin available to him.
What a weird thing to specify. His hands, for he was not restrained. That's default. People aren't normally restrained unless specified, because you can't go anywhere if you're restrained. So normally you have to specify someone's being restrained. Otherwise you assume they're handcuffed all day, every day. Makes going to the toilet awkward. Which in some cases might be the point, but it's still very much not the average member of the population.
I love you, Damien. Forever. Which is going to last an evening.
Ever.
And ever.
And ever. I love you too. My life is yours, because apparently I'm not allowed to make my own decisions anymore.
We both passed out in each other's arms.
Well, thud.
Someone was pumping him knockout gas. Lost in our bliss, the world didn't matter until morning, and even then we knew we'd be all right. Tomorrow would decide everything.
just immediately changes to Damien dead on the floor and says, "Following morning."
The day of the siege had finally dawned. We had arrived
Anyway, the day of the not the day of the assault.
No, the
Entire siege is going to take 1 day, apparently. That's
not
a siege. That's lots of people setting stuff up and then doing an assault really quickly.
We'd arrived at the Demon Lord's castle. We were ready as we could be. Many armies bearing different banners and colours washed over the grounds before the castle, ready to rush in and lay waste to the Demon Lord and the remainder of his forces. Ow. Sorry. I just choked on something and I have no idea what. That hurt. I think I may have choked on air.
That's a new one.
I know. They're nothing if not original. Shush. Fuck. All of us shared a common enemy, and upon his demise, would all finally know some form of peace. Even during the roll call of the major generals, the air became full of determination and pride.
Mirth, avarice, Nazir, Fiona, Oratum.
Each name became a mark on history. This was the war to bring freedom or destruction to the demon world. Please destruction, please destruction, please destruction.
Break everything first.
If the rebellion didn't win this fight, then the war would never end. If the rebellion won, then the world would become united in hopefully peaceful rule of demons.
Under Diana, because they're basically replacing one monarch with another.
Yes.
Which will obviously lead to everlasting peace without changing the system in any way.
That's how that works.
Yeah.
The hour before the battle was set to take place, my thoughts instantly ran back to our final meeting in Lilith Castle. Diana had pulled the leaders and us together, instructing us on how exactly to proceed. You know what? I'm going to leave it there. I think I'm done today.
Yeah.
Because, the bullshitty...
I mean, to be fair, it is. I'm slightly looking forward to seeing how they show military strategy in this visual novel.
I'm not, because then you'll explain. And I know you'll explain, and I will go, no.
It's all right. I'm not going to talk about Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.